Hi, everybody. I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is fellow Forbes breaking news reporter Ana Faguy. Ana, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
4th of July weekend is upon us, and that means many people are firing up the grills, getting ready for their barbecues. But as we know, over the past year, groceries have really been squeezing Americans. So, lay it out for us. Will people break the bank if they're hosting a July 4th party?
Overall, no. Prices seem to be slowing down in terms of the increase. The one area where folks might feel a little bit of a pinch is dessert. We're seeing increased prices for sweet treats like ice cream and cookies.
So what you're saying, this is bad news for me especially because I have the biggest sweet tooth. But if you have a sweet tooth like me, why are baked goods on the rise in terms of prices?
Yeah, so we're seeing things like chocolate chip cookies up 14% from last year, bread up 22% from last year, and those initial price increases were actually due to this strain on wheat supply that comes from Eastern Europe due to the Russia-Ukraine conflict. But now we're seeing that increase attributable to extreme drought conditions in Middle America. And so we're kind of getting over one issue and bringing in another issue. And I think that's why those prices are particularly high this time of year.
I do want to take a step back here and talk about all of these root causes. As we remember from last summer, we saw historic 40-year high inflation. Can you remind us why we saw such rising prices?
Sure. So a lot of that, again, had to do with the conflict in Ukraine and what that kind of did to wheat supplies and the overall supply chain. And that also was because of the results of the COVID-19 pandemic and the strain that caused on a number of our systems.
So I do want to get back to the 4th of July barbecue. Obviously, dessert, that's going to cost you at the grocery store. But let's talk about you're firing up the grill. What is meat going to cost you?
So most meats have only slightly increased from this time last year, which is obviously good news for those of us looking to grill this upcoming weekend. Sirloin steak is up about 2.9% from last year, and ground beef is up less than 1%.
Now let's move to the snack department. What do you know about sides? I know in your report you specifically mentioned things like chips and egg-based foods.
Yes. So obviously, we all saw the headlines about the increase in egg prices. I think you're going to see those types of foods like egg salads and deviled eggs reappear on those 4th of July spreads just because we have seen egg prices decrease. So that's an option, as you said. Also an option in the snack department, potato chips. Potato chips have seen an increase, so maybe stay more towards the egg products that we talked about, but potato chips are up about 15% from last year, and that's again another side effect of the drought in Middle America.
And can you tell us why egg prices have dramatically skyrocketed within the past months?
So the egg price increase that we saw over these past couple months, year or so, was due to the avian influenza shock. That's mostly subsided now, so that's why we're starting to see these prices kind of level off.
And let's move to the beverages. Let's start with alcohol. If you want a holiday cocktail, a beer, what is that going to cost you?
So beer prices are up 8% from last year. Wine prices are mostly unchanged. Soft drinks have also seen an increase, unfortunately. About the average 12-ounce soft drink is up 14% from last year. So wine may be the way to go if you're looking for something that's not much more expensive than it was last year. The Bureau of Labor Statistics estimates that a liter of wine costs about $13.40 for a liter. So
when you're saying these percentages, you know, my eyes did pop because A, I'm hosting this year, but B, last year we saw 40-year high inflation, and then adding 14% to that is not great. Is there any indication that inflation is slowing down as of now?
So we have seen inflation finally start to cool in recent weeks. We hit a multi-year low last month, marking the lowest inflation rate since March 2021. And the Labor Department only saw consumer prices rise 4% year over year last month. So these are good signs for inflation rates.
So, Anna, long story short, grab your wine, grab your eggs, maybe stay away from the sweet treat this weekend, is what you're saying.
Yes, that's the gist of what this report told us.
Anna, as someone with a sweet tooth, your report isn't really good news, but I appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights. Ana Faguy, thanks for joining me.
Thanks.